What's going on, guys? ShadowNinja here, and today we are talking about a Fireteam chat video that dropped yesterday with Ben Wommack, a combat lead over at Bungie, and specifically we are going to be talking about some Titan stuff. Now, what was said was pretty much a sentence. Definitely want to talk about it more, half of it because it surrounds Titans, and I'm a Titan main myself. I've been repping Titans for goddamn 10 years, and it's been a long time coming, but I do think some overarching neglect to Titans as a whole, specifically in the PvE sandbox, has really caught up and highlighted itself in the Final Shape expansion. More on that stuff when we go into detail, but before we jump into all that, if you guys do enjoy the content, please consider hitting that subscribe button and bell to be notified for when we do talk about more Destiny content or other stuff on the channel. So with that being said, before we continue into some of the nitty gritty, it's important to mention that the link to this Fireteam chat will be in the description and in the pinned comment. It's 48 minutes. Really urge you guys to check it out. If you guys want to specifically hear what he says at, I believe, 22 minutes and 15 seconds is where the question is asked, and he leads into talking about Prismatic and some of the stuff that they're talking about Titans internally and things like that. But to understand kind of the environment that the Titan class is in right now compared to other classes, while this is very small and this is kind of like contest mode and things like that, you may have seen this graph, may have not seen this graph, but here on screen is that graph, and it is pretty much a class population graph of the top 50 teams that completed Salvation's Edge. And as you guys can see, we have 74% of them being Hunters, we have 25% being Warlocks, and we have 1% being Titans. It's important to mention that only 3 Titans were able to defeat this Witness, and this is top 50. So what this means is people were playing Titans during the Witness encounter. So again, these numbers are not identical. I'm sure a Banner of War was being used in Encounter 1 and Encounter 3, but as you guys can see, when it came to the end of the raid, there wasn't many Titans, and I wonder why. Well, it's pretty safe to say that having 2 Golden Gun shots with the Golden Gun Exotic and Celestial Nighthawk, and Golden Gun itself making 2 powerful Golden Gun shots, is a good reason why that probably was the case. So as you guys can tell, Titans are not in a healthy spot just by that graph alone, and this is not something new. If you guys have been Titan mains like myself, you probably would have noticed over the years, even over the 2 different games, that Titans are definitely in the minority. I do think Warlocks were also in that minority for a long time, but over time, definitely, and especially in Destiny 2, that has changed into there being a lot more Warlocks on the field, and Titans are kind of in the same boat of just like, hey, we could pop a bubble, give you guys weapons, we can do our frontal shield, give you guys that damage boost when you guys shoot at the boss, things like that, or we could just have Banner of War Strand now, or a Solar Lori build with our Titans. Yeah, hasn't been pretty at all. And Prismatic, I think, is a good highlight of that. I talked about how Prismatic is very underwhelming on a Titan, and even with the class exotics now, like, I have a good role with Severance and Star Eaters. It's still just, man, it is missing some of that oomph that Warlocks and Hunters bring, and I'm forcing myself to use it, but at the end of the day, I'm just better off using Banner of War, Solar, or Void by themselves, because I still feel a lot better than Prismatic. Even Stasis feels miles better than Prismatic Titan in my opinion, but that's for a different video. I do have a build, so I will make a video so you guys see, but altogether, Titans are in a good spot. So it was very, very, I guess you could say, apparent and very good in my ears to hear that Ben said that internally at Bungie, they are talking a lot about the Titan class, and this isn't just Prismatic wise, this is as a whole. And this is something that is long overdue, and they need to find a way to bring some sense of power back to the Titans. I'm not saying it's going to overtake Hunters and Warlocks, but increase the class popularity a little bit, and I do think things will be better. For one, I do think the overarching exotics for Titans is at the bare minimum. Like, we have not a lot of choices. Synthoceps is still kind of the top tier dog even after more nerfs, and with the expansion, besides the chest armor, which is awesome with the rockets, they included another Strand exotic. Like, do you not want us to, stop playing Banner of War? You keep making us play Banner of War Strand. But it is weird. It is weird, the end goals that they've had for Titans, and right now, Banner of War is incredible. Solar's still incredible. Void's fun. Stasis is getting much better, especially after some of the changes. Prismatic's not there. So it's good to see that they're talking internally. What the changes are, I'm not sure. I would hope that exotics take the first, look at, like, we need to really shake up these exotics And then on top of that, we really need to shake up some of the aspects that are brought into some of these subclasses. Because, for example, Arc on a PvE sense for Titans is probably worse than it was with the tree system. I think the tree system Arc was way better than the Arc 3.0 subclass options. Besides Knockout, I don't think there's anything good there for PvE. PvP obviously is a different story. And then, like, I don't know, like, they really need to change up the aspects. Don't do nothing too bizarre, like, but at the same time, tune it more. And I feel like they haven't seen the tunings that it really needs. And then last but not least, I think one thing that is really apparent with Titans is that there isn't really a solid boss DPS option compared to what other classes have with, like, you know, Golden Gun, Gathering Storm. We have the threadling stuff with warlocks. I know Chaos Reach isn't the most optimum. Chaos Reach got a recent buff when it came to boss DPS. It's performing better even with you have the exotic leg armor. Nova Bomb, it's a one bomb, you know, a one-off super. It lingers, and then you could do your DPS with your heavy, preferably with bait and switch in some way. You know, you weaken, you get all this stuff. There's a lot more DPS options with warlocks and hunters compared to Titans, where I do think if they made Thunder Crash better, or Hammer of Soul better, maybe even Burning Maul better for some of that boss DPS, but even then, like, Burning Maul depends on the type of boss you're dealing with. So like in a witness situation, something that's far off, it wouldn't really help. It will help with like something like a War Priest, which I think is still pretty good now, but could even be better if they buffed it for some reason. But yeah, as you could tell, I'm really excited to see that they're, you know, planning some changes and stuff like that. And this isn't just Prismatic, this is as a whole, which I think is pretty nice. They also mentioned that they're going to add on to Prismatic. This is something that's not going to be forgotten. My only request when it comes to adding on to Prismatic is just keep the focus around adding Prismatic aspects and not different aspects from different classes. The only thing I would say for Titans, you know, aspects is maybe you switch off Dranger's Lash with Into the Fray, help with some of that melee regeneration with Woven Mail. But besides that, I do think that like there is options. They switch like the Stasis one with Tectonic Harvest, and then they switch Dranger's Lash with Into the Fray. I think the Titan Prismatic will feel a lot better. Viability, we'll see, but I think it would feel a lot better. But besides that, that's pretty much all I gotta say on this one. I encourage you guys to check out the whole thing. But if you guys have any thoughts of your own, drop a comment down below. Let's have a conversation about the, I guess you could say, little bits that was said about Titans needing some changes. If you guys have any recommendations of changes you would do for the Titan class, again, drop a comment down below. We can have a conversation about it. If you guys enjoyed this video and found this video informative, drop this video a like. Helps out the video a ton. And for more content from me, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell to be notified for when I do drop more content. But pretty much all I gotta say this one. Hope you guys have a good one. ShadowNinja here, and I'm out.